Now, while I was shooting this video out on the open road, I was thinking how the MT09 is kind of like the evil stepchild of the R1. And because I have both of them in my collection and I ride them both on a regular basis, it's easy for me to make the comparison. And we will do that on this ride. And you could join us in full 4K. All you have to do is adjust your setting in the lower right. It looks like a heavenly day. It's really cold now. It's 40 degrees, but it's going to 50. I can't wait. This is just the type of day you look forward to all year long. Now we're hoping it warms up just a little bit by the time we actually get to ride. I got the coffee brewing. We got to pre-flight the bike. The weather report is it's going to go into 50s by lunchtime. But I never believed the weatherman. Now it's really a habit I've gotten into over the years from my days owning my own plane. It's always a good idea to pre-flight the bike. And it has saved my bacon a few times. And I've gone over that on many of the videos, why I do it. And I was happy to hear so many people send in comments that they do it now too as a safety thing. And it never hurts. Nothing bad happens if you do it. And you don't need air in the tires, or you notice everything is just the way it should be on the bike. Now I'm fussy about riding a dirty bike. I like to clean it all up. And if you do it on an ongoing basis, it never gets to be a rust bucket. And once it gets to be a rust bucket, then you don't feel like doing it anytime. Anyway, it's just something I like to do while I'm having my cup of coffee. Just sit back, look at the bike. And I like to look at this bike from every angle, all the modifications I made, all the carbon fiber parts. Just, it's a true labor of love. And the only thing left is, and it's this time of year that we get started on this, feeding the birds that extra cup of seeds and we just love seeing them in the morning while we're having our coffee, having our breakfast. Karen and I love having birds for company. Now, as Jose is so correct in saying, when you have a street bike you enjoy riding, as soon as you cross the driveway and get out on the road, the fun starts. And he's right. And this bike, it's all about having fun, all about having a great time, all about having the things that I like most: a comfortable riding position, a decent seat, handlebars that are not going to give you a backache or a neck ache. And so what it does, it encourages you to just keep riding once you get out on the open road. Now in the area, I call it my riding area, where I do most of my riding, northern New Jersey, southern New York, Hudson Valley. And that area, it's just a perfect area for the kind of riding I like to do. A lot of back streets where there's not a lot of traffic, and certainly not a lot of law enforcement. We always have the Valentine radar detector to watch our back while we're on these back roads, because every once in a while there is a surprise to be had, and I guess that's true of anywhere in the country. But anyway, the MT09, a perfect back road bike. The two bikes have a lot in common. They have a lot of family resemblance. They're both Yamaha blue, a color that I really like. They both have custom painted silver wheels, which I've done. And they have a lot of similarities in the way they handle the power. They have great low-end torque. And this MT09 in particular really has a beautiful, sweet power band, whether you want to ride the back roads or if you want to go chase down sport bikes on the main highway. Now my MT09 is 11 years newer than the R1 I own, and even though they're very similar, this one has a lot of things I like, and the biggest thing, all of the safety features. And the most entertaining part of the whole bike to me is the quick shifter. The way this engine develops the power, everybody that ever ridden this bike, the first thing they say is, man, I love that engine. That triple, Yamaha got that right, and everything I've ever read in the magazines or on YouTube, people love that engine. That engine has a way of making you want to go riding, even on days that you're not really in the mood for a ride. That engine has a way of making you want to get on a bike. Now, I knew when I bought the bike, as a totally stock bike, that I was going to make a lot of modifications and changes. I already had plans in my mind. I had already made sketches of what I wanted to do. I made several carbon fiber parts, modified the windshield, painted a lot of the parts that were flat black along the way, did the polishing of the exhaust. That was many, many hours of just a labor of love is the only way to describe it. The custom lettering that John Pothier was very, very helpful. We laid that out and got all of the little details on the bike. And there are hundreds of little details you don't notice until you really look at the bike closely. Now, there's a lot of little detail changes that, like, there's no screws in the scoops. That screening, to get rid of that, the screws that are in there, I did not like. And I had a rule. These are the custom parts I made. They're made from scratch. They roll out on the channel for anybody, the part on the back foot pegs. It's all little details. And I'm not done yet. I have a couple more parts in my mind. We just didn't have a lot of time over this winter. We had a lot of family things. And I took a lot of time to make Karen her own personal office. Now, of course, on the real twisty back roads that tend to be a little slippery, most of the year anyway, the MT09 being very light and nimble feeling, a little bit more fun to ride on these back roads than the R1. And when you get out on any big highway where you can get into triple-digit speeds, of course the R1 is the bike of choice. And especially when those velocity stacks open up, Yamaha, the R1, has that 4-barrel carburetor feel. And of course, it's always nice to get out to the garage early in the morning and decide which one you want to ride, grandpa or grandson here. It always is nice. I always say it always is nice to have a choice when you go out to that garage, and I do. And I take full advantage of it every possible riding day that I'm able to ride. Now, I know the year I bought this was rated the Naked Bike of the Year. I don't know if it still is. They've come out with the next iteration of this bike, which is probably a little faster, a little better suspension. You can get the SP model. But considering this bike was under $9,000, I don't know how you could get a better bang for the buck. I don't know what bike you buy. If that's your budget, this is an awful lot of fun for a very little money. Now it's time to get back to the farm, but this has just turned out to be a super day. The temperature just got nicer and nicer. It just couldn't be nicer. Roads were pretty clean, and always getting 50 miles to the gallon is very nice. Well, the day played out better than I thought it would. It warmed up nice, and it's probably way over 50 right now. And I'll take this time of year, any day you can get a ride, well worth it. And of course, the MT09, he's been a good stepchild, and his father, the R1, we love them both. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Please hit the like button if you did, and thank you so much for watching.